Let me do that again. Woo! Woo! In the words of that great figure from the 18, General, should I say Colonel Hannibal, there is a plan. And I love it when a plan comes together. What's going on, my brothers? What's going on? 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 Ah. Hey, if you guys can hear me loud and well, man, just put one in the chat. I just need to know that you can hear me loud and well. That's all I need to know. Just put that one in the chat if you can hear TMP. If you can hear TMP, 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 you know who TMP is. TMP is the Mad Professor. That's who I am. TMP, the Mad Professor. That is the acronym right there. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Ah, brothers, I'm so glad. I am so glad that you are here, and I'm so glad that I'm here, and that we can have this conversation. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. I see the ones. What's going on, Corey Green? I see you, my brother. What's going on, Corey Green? Dave the man, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? DeVito, Dave Tao, I hope I said that right. Dave Tao, man, I'm glad that you're here, my brother. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Dave Tao, you absolutely right, man. This is BMI. BMI, Black Men's Independence. BMI, Black Men's Independence, man. Go ahead and get that PhD, brother. Go ahead and get that PhD. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, man? We're going to talk tonight, man. I want us to have a good time. Man, I want us to have a good time. Julius Brooks. Julius Brooks, what's happening, my brother? Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad that you were here. Glad that you were here, man. Y'all be sure to hit that like button. Be sure that you hit that like button, man. Hit that like button, man. Make sure you hit that like button. Man's Daily Advice and Encouragement channel. Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you, my brother. Glad that you are here. Oh. And my faithful brother, man. I appreciate you, Sir Ray. I appreciate you, my guy. You are so faithful and loyal. This is my guy right here, man. Y'all look for my brother, man. Look for my brother on Facebook. Look for my brother on LinkedIn. Look for my brother all across social media, man. This is my brother right here. We thank you for the support. We thank you. Yes, this is another Black Men's Independence, Black Men's Agency, Black Men's Empowerment, and most importantly, Black Men's Happiness broadcast. That is what we do, man. Thank you for all of that support, my brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Dapper Dons, man. Peace and blessing to you, my brother. Dapper Dons, please, peace and blessings to you, my brother, my brother, my brother, my brother. Man, let me just tell you guys how much I appreciate you. Let me tell you guys how much I am, grateful for all of your support. You all have contributed to this channel. You've made this channel, what it is and everything. And I can't tell you how much it means for me to be able to communicate with Black men here in the United States and Black men all across the world. Hey, we got non-Black men who are also tuning in. So if you're a non-Black man, if you're not a Black man biologically or what have you, salute to you for listening. If you get something from this channel and what have you. And to other men, Asian men, Latino men, men from all across the world, from different cultures, we shout out to you. We appreciate all of your support, guys, all of your support, man. Most definitely. Listen, guys. I don't want to waste too much time tonight. It's Friday night, and I don't know what's on your schedule. I don't know what you're gonna do. Some of you guys are gonna be staying home and watching Netflix or watching Hulu, Amazon Prime, or something like that. Some of you guys tonight, you might be going out. You might be going to the cigar lounge, to the cigar bar, whatever you want to call it. I keep my cigars, man. Bro, I keep my cigars in the house. Yeah, I've come to terms with the fact that I'm going to be a cigar smoker until the day I die. To the day I die, And you can think, whatever you want about that, but I'm turning 50. I turned 50 in September. September the 1st, I turned 50 years old, and I've lived a good life up until this point, and I'm going out with a bang. I'm not reckless, I'm not undisciplined or whatever, but man, I love my cigars. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. It is. And I love my drink. Y'all know that. I love my drink. I'm not going to give up my drink. Woo! We got Dr. Thunder in the house, man. I'm so glad that you're here, man. Y'all check out Dr. Thunder, man, because Dr. Thunder was going off this morning, man. I was in Dr. Thunder's stream, and Dr. Thunder was talking about Passport Bros over against the Game Bros, Passport Bros and Game Bros, and I came through and I gave my 2 cents on the broadcast and everything. And y'all go back and check out Dr. Thunder and his broadcast, which he did this morning on Passport Bros and Game Bros. It's very, very important that you look at what he has to say. And this stream is very, very much relevant to that. And I want to say that this stream helps to expand on what Dr. Thunder was doing this morning on his podcast, on his YouTube channel, and what have you. I've been thinking about this for quite some time, and so the time that we're living in right now demands that we address a lot of these issues in terms of the Passport Bros and everything. So we're so glad that Dr. Thunder is here. I got my man, the Green Gorilla. That's my man. That's my man, the Green Gorilla. What's going on, Gigi? What's going on? That's Gigi. Gigi is one of the major leaders of what I call the Black Man University. The Black Man University. This is a new acronym. I might do a video on this. I'm going to call it BMU. BMU is the Black Man's University, and this is the institution, the internet institution that we have created among the PhDs, Dr. Thunder, Dr. T.S. Johnson, Green Gorilla, myself, and I'm going to unofficially anoint BGS Idmore as an unofficial member of the PhD cohort, because BEGS Idmore was very, very instrumental. Matter of fact, he was the person who encouraged the vast majority of us to start YouTube channels. So shout out to BGS Idmore for being a part of that. We call it Black Man. I call it rather the Black Man's University right here on YouTube. Some of you guys are on Rumble. I will soon be going to Rumble. There's Twitch, there's Substack, the guys who have Substack channels and what have you. This is not going anywhere. We are here to stay, and we're just going to grow. We're going to evolve, and our impact is going to be greater than what it is right now. So shout out to all of the professors who are part of the Black Man's University, what I call BMU. The Black Man's Option is in the house. What's going on, man? What's going on? We got the Black Man's Option. I'm so glad to see the Black Man's Option here, man. All of you guys who are part of it. And I want you to stay tuned because really, the Black Man's Option has been in this passport mix for years and years and years and years, way before our brother King Sigma, coined the term passport bros. And I want to give a shout out to King Sigma on this live right here. King Sigma. I don't know where you are, my brother, but we know who's the one who coined the term passport bros. Right now, Passport Bros is global. It is on every continent on this planet right here. The impact of Passport Bros has been so immense that now you have people who are creating LLCs with the name Passport Bros, white men in particular who are running with the term Passport Bros. I just saw a video recently of a country music star. I don't know his name. I can't remember his name, but there's a country music star out of Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. He did a video talking about the Passport Bros and talking about the impact of Passport Bros and talking about his sons and talking about the Passport Bros whom he knows in his whole life. And he just gave his entire support. This white man, this country music white man, lend his support to the Passport Bro phenomenon. I call it the Passport Bro revolution. Okay, and this guy is from the South, and let me tell you, it is no insignificant thing when you have people like that who lend their support to this revolution that is happening all across the world. This is a global enterprise. Thank you, Black Man's Option. Yes, my birthday is soon. Right around the corner, September 6th, I will turn 50. 50. So thank you, my brothers. Thank you. And I appreciate everybody watching. We have 44 people who are watching. Y'all be sure to like, y'all share, and you all subscribe. I just want to talk freely with all of you guys tonight about this topic. I'm going to talk about the leader turn, and you see what's going on, y'all. You see the thumbnail, you see the title and everything. But before I dive into this, I want to make a disclaimer. I need to make a disclaimer, and I want you all to hear me carefully, and I want everyone who listens to my channel to absorb this. People who are subscribed to my channel and those who are not subscribed. And this is especially for those who are now trolling my channel. My channel is being trolled, and so I have to make this disclaimer outright. And this is what I'm going to do from here on out whenever I go live or whenever I make videos. I'm going to make disclaimers. And here is the disclaimer, that the views that you hear on this channel are all my own. The perspectives, the ideas, the concepts that are articulated on this channel, this Ronald Neal, that's my channel. This channel is a channel that is dedicated exclusively and primarily to the condition of Black American men. For those who are new to this channel and who have not surveyed the content of this channel, I want to direct you to my community, to my about page rather. Go to my about page. My about page describes everything that this channel is all about. You can read it for yourself. And when you read the about page carefully, you understand that this channel is dedicated to the idea of Black men's empowerment. This channel is dedicated to educating Black men. It is concerned primarily with dealing with issues of health, issues of spirituality. It is concerned with economic issues. It is concerned with political issues. It is concerned with the overall condition of Black men in North America. This is an educational channel. We deal with history. We deal with all the disciplines. We deal with philosophy. We deal with sociology. We deal with religion. We deal with mythology. We deal with all those things. We deal with media. We deal with propaganda. We deal with politics. We deal with all of these things. And the perspective that you hear from me, I am Ronald Neal, are all my own. My perspectives do not represent any institution in American society. And I'm going to say in very exact terms, my perspective does not represent any educational institution, any college or university in America, no junior college or two-year institution. My perspective does not represent any denomination, any church, any religion, be it Christian, Protestant, Catholic, Jewish, what have you. All of the views espoused here are all my own. If you have any grievances with me, legally or otherwise, I direct you to visionaryblackmen@gmail.com, visionaryblackmen@gmail.com. That is the email where you can reach me or what have you. Send all of your grievances and concerns to that email and I will address them accordingly. Okay, that's my disclaimer. That's my disclaimer right there. That's my disclaimer, and I make this disclaimer for legal purposes. Legal purposes. All right, I'm done with all that. What's going on? Good to see you, my guys. Good to see you. Todd Mayak, ADOS, rather. That's right. The African descendants of slaves here in the United States, checking in from Mexico. Good. Glad that you were here, my brother. Glad that you were here. Thank you for all of the support. Thank you. Y'all share. Y'all like and subscribe. Thank you for all of the support. Hit the Cash App, $ BMI 3000. Hit the Cash App, $ BMI 3000. And I want to thank my friend, Mr. Jackson. I'm not going to give all your details or what have you. I got Cash App for Mr. Jackson. Thank you for the Cash App, Mr. Jackson. Thank you for the Cash App, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson. Okay. We're talking about the lead attorney. The lead attorney. And the reason why I'm talking about the lead attorney is because on Tuesday night of this week, I happened to tune in to the lead attorney's channel. The lead attorney is a very successful, an extraordinarily successful YouTuber rather, who has grown by leaps and bounds over the last 2 years. Let me say that I have tremendous respect for the lead attorney. And let me say at the outset that I am not here to defame the lead attorney. I am not here tonight to create any beef between the lead attorney and myself. I am not here. I am not here to create any tension. I am not here to create any discord between the lead attorney and myself. I am not here to roast the lead attorney. I need to make that emphatically clear. I'm not here to do that. I respect the lead attorney's work and who he is and what he is as a Black male, a Black man in particular, who is a professional, who spent more than 20 years in the realm of law, criminal law, family law, who was based in Atlanta, Georgia. The lead attorney is a few years younger than me. If I'm not mistaken, he's 46 years old. I am turning 50. I'm turning 50. So the lead attorney and myself, we both belong to the same generational cohort. We've seen many of the same things. The lead attorney was born and raised in Georgia, born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. He is a son of the American South. I too am a product of the South, born and raised in the state of Florida. I spent 3 years of my life, three very, very important formative years of my life, from the age of 22 to the age of 25 in Atlanta, Georgia. Some might say, or rather, let me just call it, I regard it as the golden age of Atlanta. That is, I was in Atlanta between 1995 and 1998. This was the era of Freaknik. This was the era of the Olympics. This was the era of Outkast. This was the era of Jermaine Dupri and So Def. This was the era of Little John and the East Side Boys. This was the era when hip hop from the South was really beginning to make a dent in the global music scene. This is the era of LaFace Records. This was an extraordinary period in Atlanta, Georgia. When I moved to Atlanta, Georgia in 1995, it was called the Mecca of the South, the Mecca of the South. And Atlanta, Georgia has remained a very, very important hub for Black America since that particular time. And so I regard the lead attorney in terms of genealogy, in terms of ADOS, in terms of ADOSness, American Descendants of Slaves, ADOSness, and what have you, lineage. The lead attorney is my brother. He is my brother. And I have watched him since he came on YouTube, and I watched his growth. And I, at one time, participated in one of his streams. Maybe almost 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I would say close to 2 years ago, something between a year and a half and 2 years, the lead attorney did a stream on the manosphere. The manosphere had been written about in the mainstream media in very disparaging ways. There were some concerns about the manosphere in terms of the United States Defense Department, the higher ups in society and what have you. And the lead attorney did a long stream. It was about 5 hours, raising the question on what is the manosphere, what is its purpose, what does it do, and what have you. And I was a part of the stream. And the lead attorney was very, very generous in bringing me up onto his channel. I was on his channel for the bulk of that stream. The lead attorney was very, very generous. He posted my Cash App, the Cash App that I have right here, BMI 3000, BMI 3000. The lead attorney posted my Cash App on his channel. He was over 100,000 at that particular time. And his followers, those who subscribed to him, were very, very generous towards my Cash App. I walked away with a nice fat Cash App. I walked away with a small bag. When I was on the lead attorney's channel over a year ago. Okay, so I say all that to say that this is not a hit piece on the lead attorney, and all I'm doing is commenting on the lead attorney and his relationship to Passport Bros and the Passport Bro revolution. This is just a commentary on him. And the reason why I'm commenting on the lead attorney is because he did this stream, and this wasn't the first time that he's commented on Passport Bros. Not the first time. The lead attorney is a man who knows what travel is. He is a man who understands what it's like to be a Black man, to be a professional Black man in particular, and I need to accent right there, to be a Black man who is a professional. A black man who is accomplished, a black man who has reached a level of socioeconomic status, a black man who has reached a level of professional prestige, a black man who has lots of social currency. Let me just say this: a black man who has a lot to lose. I'm gonna put it like that. A black man who has a lot to lose. A professional black man with much to lose. And he's done streams on his journeys to Mexico. Mexico. He's talked about it, and he's posted videos, short clips of his experience, recounting his experience in Mexico. And those of you all who are familiar with those streams, you can go to his channel and you can find some of those videos. His most recent video, I must say to you, and this was part of the motivation for this video, his most recent live stream is not posted. The lead attorney's most recent live stream, which he did on Tuesday night, is not available. You can go to his channel, you can go to his live streams, you can go to his videos, the cut videos, the edited videos, and you're not going to find excerpts of his live stream from Tuesday night on his video section, and you're not going to find the complete live stream on his live stream section. I'm not going to pull it up. You can go and check it out for yourself, okay? And I want to say that there is a reason for that. There's a reason for that, and the reason for that was outlined in his live stream. It was in his live stream in of itself. I watched his live stream. He's talking about the passport bros, and the lead attorney, like many people right now on YouTube, people on TikTok, people across social media, people in the journalism world, they have had to reckon with the fact that the passport revolution is here. They have to reckon with it. Yahoo News has dealt with the passport bro revolution. The Salt Lake City Times has written about the passport revolution. I've seen articles on LinkedIn on passport bros. You can Google passport bros and you will find all sorts of information on passport bros. On TikTok, passport bros, in terms of views, in terms of passport bro content, it has surpassed the 470 million mark. It has surpassed 470 million mark. TikTok, from what we know right now, has done more to promote passport bro, the passport bro revolution, than any other social media enterprise that we know of, more so than YouTube. TikTok has done that. So the passport revolution is hot. The block is hot. The block is hot. The block is hot. Everybody is talking about passport bros. Everybody is talking about the passport revolution. The haters are talking about the passport revolution. And of course, those people who are a part of the passport revolution, those who are actively traveling, those who identify with passport bros, like myself, we're talking about it. And then you have people who are would-be passport bros, or people who just simply support passport bros in its ideology, who are creating content around the passport bro revolution. So the passport revolution is the rage. It is here to stay. It is not going anywhere anytime soon. It is here to stay. Our major institutions are going to have to reckon with the revolution. Our family structures are going to have to reckon with the revolution, particularly the most dilapidated and most decimated parts of America, particularly Black America, are going to have to deal with the passport revolution. intact families are going to have to deal with what I mean by intact families, nuclear families. They're going to have to deal with the passport revolution. Our capitalistic system is going to have to contend with the passport revolution. We're talking about the exporting of men. This is the exporting of men, the exporting of men's resources, the exporting of men's talents. We are talking about a resource drain. We are talking about a brain drain with respect to Western societies. And I'm broadcasting live from North America, and we're talking about the brain drain, the resource drain, the exportation of men's talents and resources to other parts of the world, which is going to have an adverse effect on the United States economy on the long run. Because if you have large numbers of men who are from the middle to the upper classes, who decide to pursue their happiness in other parts of the world and to invest in other parts of the world, that is going to impact the economy in some kind of way. It is what it is, and the society is going to have to come to terms with it, make some type of reconstructions or revisions to the way things are done in society. That's just a matter of fact, okay? So everybody is on the passport train. Everybody. Shout out again to Dr. Thunder. Shout out again to Dr. Thunder. Dr. Thunder, in his stream this morning, Dr. Thunder, in his stream, shout out to Dr. T.S.on Johnson. If you have not gotten Dr. T.S.on Johnson's book, I need you all to go out and purchase Dr. T.S.on Johnson's book. It's called Solutions, Flat Blackness, anti-black male misandry. Okay, in politics, you're going to have to get Dr. T.S.on Johnson's book. It's now an available Rutledge University. I'm sorry, Rutledge Press, not Rutledge University, but Rutledge Press. Dr. T.S.on Johnson's book is out now, available for everybody. Go ahead and purchase that book. Support your black male scholars. We're glad that Dr. Johnson is here, okay? All right, so everybody's on the train. Everybody now, people want to make money. There's a cash grab about passport bros, because it is clear that passport bros have created a solution. This is a solution. And I'm going to say this to you over and over again, and I want to get this into your heads, that the passport solution, and what I'm calling the passport revolution, is the final solution. This is the final solution to the problems of Black American men. This is the final solution to the problems of Black American men. People talk about solutions. They're always asking us for solutions. They're always coming to our channels and to our spaces, complaining and grieving and saying that, where are your solutions? Where are your solutions? Where are your solutions? Stop crying, stop complaining, stop whining. Hey, this is the solution. This is the solution, okay? Here it is. Here it is. No whining, no complaining, no grievances. We have the solution. So you have grifters now, people who are not traveling, people who are not self-identified passport bros, people who have never left the United States of America, people who have never even traveled beyond the state in which they were born, people who have never traveled beyond the region in which they were born, okay? People who are afraid to travel, people who are afraid to get on an airplane. They're afraid. They're afraid to take a trip to Jamaica. They're afraid to take a trip to Colombia. They're afraid to take a trip that is less than 3 hours outside the United States, okay? These people half of these people are crapping on Passport Bros, but they're using Passport Bro material and content and the phenomenon writ at large to make money, to profit, to keep their channels going because these people lack creativity, they lack imagination. That's these people. They're doing that. The other people are the people who are supporters, the people who see the logic, they see the need for the Passport Bros. I want to give a shout out to the old man Obsidian Mumia Ali. Obsidian is a diehard supporter of the Passport Bro movement. Mumia Obsidian Ali just got his passport in the mail within the last month, and he has been going hardcore on Passport Bros in terms of his support. We appreciate him. We appreciate men like him. We appreciate men like him, okay, who may not have, themselves traveled across the Atlantic or the Pacific, but they recognize the necessity and the imperative and the importance and the legitimacy of the passport revolution. So we appreciate Obsidian Mumia Ali. So my brother, if you're listening, thank you for all of your support. Continue to do what you're doing in pushing the passport revolution, my brother. You have my backing in all of the other brothers who are part of this revolution right here. So the lead attorney, the lead attorney, the lead attorney is a reluctant passport bro. And let me just say this: the lead attorney is a reluctant passport bro. He is a reluctant passport bro. And what do I mean by reluctant? What do I mean by that? What do I mean by reluctant? The lead attorney is a professional Black American man, a man who has something to lose. We don't know. Here's the thing. He uses the nomenclature of the lead attorney. We don't know his government name. We don't have to know his government name. But we know that many people who are on YouTube, they don't use their government names because these are people who have something to lose. They have something to lose professionally. They have something to lose in terms of their credibility, in terms of their social status, in terms of everything that they have done to build themselves up as professionals. These are people who are concerned about professional respectability. These are people who are concerned about just respectability in the social scale, in the social world in general. We get it. We get it. We get it. These people have jobs. They have careers. They have networks. They have associations. They are connected to people of high status. They're connected to all sorts of people who are constantly concerned about reputation. Reputation, 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 reputation. It's about your reputation. It's about your social currency. It's about your professional status, especially if you are someone like the lead attorney, okay? So these people are risk averse. They're risk averse in terms of what they put out into the world. They are very, very risk averse because they don't want what they say in the public domain to have an adverse impact on their lives and their livelihoods. Okay, they don't want to leave. They don't want to lose social esteem. They don't want to lose social currency. They just don't want to lose anything. Okay, they don't want to lose it all. And so they're very, 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 very careful about their associations. They're very, 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 very careful about their affiliations. They're very, very, very careful about who they hang out with, who they talk to out on the phone. They're very, very careful about who they lend their credibility to. They're very, very careful about that. There are lots of people like that. There are lots of men like that, okay? And there are a good number of Black men who, for very, very reasons, and for the same reasons as the lead attorney are not public. There are passport bros. There are black men who are passport bros who are anonymous. These are traveling men who you don't know. These are men who you will never, ever, ever know. These men will never create a YouTube channel. They will never create a TikTok. You will never find them on Rumble or Substack. You will never find them anywhere on social media. You're not going to find them on Facebook. You're not going to find them on Instagram. I can't forget about Instagram. You're not going to find them on Instagram. You're not going to find them on these platforms talking about their affiliations and connections with the passport revolution. You're not going to find them publicly and openly supporting the passport revolution. And the reason why you're not going to do that is because of the extent to which the passport revolution has been stigmatized, how it has been damaged through those, or I'm not going to say how it has been damaged. I'm going to say rather on how the haters of Passport Bros and the Passport Bro movement have attempted to damage the entire thrust of the Passport Bro revolution. And what they have done is they have tried to delegitimize the Passport Bro revolution. They have tried to remove the credibility of the Passport Bro revolution. And let me give a shout out to Brian. Thank you, Brian, for that generous Cash App. Thank you, Brian, for that Cash App. Thank you for that Cash App. Y'all hit the Cash App. If you find value in this content, in this material, hit that Cash App, BMI 3000, Cash App, BMI 3000. Also, you have the Super Chat. Hit that Super Chat. We have 89 people who are watching this live stream right now. We are talking about the lead attorney and why the lead attorney refuses to call himself a passport bro. What you guys see, if you guys can see my screen, and you all can see everything on my screen, just put 2 in the chat. Please put 2 in the chat if you can see the Amazon part of my screen. I have a screen. I've opened up one of the windows of my screen. Amazon, this is from Amazon.com, and I am showing a book. If you can see it, if you can see my entire screen from Amazon, thank you. I thank you. You can see the screen, Amazon. Awesome. Thank you, brothers. Thank you for that confirmation here. The reason why the lead attorney does not associate with or does not identify with the Passport Bro movement is because of this right here. The reason why. This is a book that was published in 2008. 2008, it was published by a black man. It was written rather by a black man who has a master's degree in counseling. He's a licensed clinical social worker. This is written in 2008. It's called Don't Blame It on Rio, the Real Deal Behind Why Black Men Go to Brazil for Sex. This is a book that has been out for a very, very long time. Very, very interesting book, fascinating book. But this is the reason. This is the reason why the lead attorney and some men refuse to associate with the Passport Bro revolution right here. So when I was watching the lead attorney stream on Passport Bros, and I was watching intently, and he had lots of people in the chat, lots of people, as he normally does. You know, the lead attorney, you know, he can get anywhere from 500 to 1,000 people on his streams, you know, in less than an hour. of his broadcast. He can get in anywhere between 500 people to 1,000 people in less than, I would say, less than 30 minutes. Okay, he has over 300. He has almost 350,000 subscribers. Okay, and so it was Tuesday night, and I tuned in, and when I tuned in, the lead attorney had like over 1,000 people in the chat. He had over 1,000 people in the chat when I was watching his stream on Tuesday night. And when I was watching the lead attorney stream on Tuesday night, he was just talking. He was just talking about Passport Bros, and he was talking about why he understands Passport Bros and why he understands why Passport Bros talk about the things that we talk about and what have you. And he understands why there is so much hatred and vitriol and anger and resentment towards the Passport Bro revolution. He was just talking about that, and he was talking about it from the standpoint of someone who has traveled and who has lived in a different country, a foreign country. He lived in Mexico. He lived in one of the provinces within Mexico, and he spent years there. The lead attorney, for those of you who don't know, speaks fluent Spanish. He is fluent. He is fluent in Spanish. And so he is a guy who, you have a professional Black man who is accomplished, who took some time out of his, life, professional career. He doesn't go into all the details as to why he moved to Mexico and why he spent as much time, years in Mexico. He spent years there. He doesn't talk about why he spent years in Mexico, but what you learn when you hear him talk is that he immersed himself in the culture. He immersed himself in the culture. He learned the rules. He learned the codes. He learned, most importantly, the language. In many respects, he became an honorary Mexican himself. That's what he did. And so the lead attorney talked about, his early experiences, in Mexico, and how he was received as a Black American man, a man who stands over 6 feet tall, a Black American man who takes care of himself. He is in good shape. The lead attorney is a man who takes care of his body. The dating coaches talk about body game and all that kind of stuff. He takes care of his body. He works out. He is into fitness. The lead attorney is not he's not a hideous man. He's not Shrek. The lead attorney is not Shrek, okay? He is not Shrek. He is not Shrek, okay? And he talked about how, being in that context, he talked about how he stood out as a Black man in a society, in a culture, in a country where the vast majority of the people there hardly ever come into contact with Black men. They don't come into contact with Black men. Their only understanding of Black men comes from popular culture. It comes from TV, it comes from movies, it comes from the rappers, the music, it comes from sports and what have you. And he talked extensively how when he was in Mexico, people confused him and they called him Michael Jordan. They confused him with Michael Jordan. They thought that he was a basketball player, that he was an NBA star, that he was one of these NBA gods, okay? A man standing more than 6 feet tall. And the term that the lead attorney uses is exotic, 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 exotic. He says that I was an exotic individual in Mexico. And because I was an exotic individual in Mexico, I had all eyes on me. Everybody watched me. Everybody wanted to touch me. Everybody wanted to have a conversation with me, particularly the women. The women, 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 the women. He was not from there. He wasn't American. He was a black man. He was an anomaly. This gave him an extraordinary social, sexual advantage in the village, the province of Mexico, which he found himself in. And because of that, and because of that, and because of that, he had high levels of social currency and capital that he had never, ever, 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 ever experienced in the United States of America. Mexico changed his life because he was received by Mexicans and Mexican culture in a way in which he was not received by Americans, American culture, particularly Black American culture, and let's go even further, Black American female culture. Y'all get the likes up, get the likes up. We got 98 people, we got 98 people watching. Get the likes up, get the likes up. He was an exotic, and this was the term that he used. I was exotic. These women had never encountered a man like me before. The only knowledge that they had about black men was what they saw on TV, what they saw in the movies, what they saw in sports, so on and so forth. And it gave him an advantage, a social advantage, which meant that he did not have to jump through the kind of hoops in terms of male-female social dynamics, male-female sexual dynamics. He did not have to jump through the hoops, the kind of hoops that black men typically have to jump over and through when dealing with the North American terrain. And let's just be honest, dealing with the Afro-American woman in particular. And Leader Turney has said this over and over again on his platform, that 99% or 100% of the women that he has ever dealt with in his entire lifetime in North America now, not Mexico, but in North America, 90 to 100% of the women that he's dealt with, let's just say 100%, not 99%, 100%. This is a man who has only dealt with, in America, he has only dealt with Black American women. His only experience in terms of the sexual marketplace, his only experience in terms of male-female dynamics, his only experience has been with Black American women. Only experience. And he steps out of the culture and he goes somewhere else. And he has an experience which was revolutionary. It was a revolutionary experience. Something that literally changed his life. It literally changed his life. It forced him to look at the world in a very different way. It forced him to look at the United States in a different way. It forced him to look at Black American culture in a different way. It forced him to look at Black American female culture, Black American women in particular, in a different way. It forced him to change. It changed his life, his orientation. And then he went on to say that the more that he immersed himself in Mexican culture, in that culture, language, food, music, family traditions, customs, habits, mores, whatever you call it, the more he immersed himself in that world, the more he became aware of the separation between America, the United States, and countries that are outside of the United States. Now, Mexico is the only place, according to Leader Attorney, where he has resided and where he has been as a man who's traveled. It is the only place. Now, what's significant about his experience is that he lived there. The lead attorney actually lived there for years, and he became an honorary Mexican. And the point that the lead attorney made, and this is why he's a reluctant passport bro. The lead attorney said emphatically on this stream, he says that I don't call myself a passport bro. I don't call myself a passport bro. He says, I don't call myself a passport bro because I did something in my travel experience in Mexico, in the years that I lived there, and just being in a relationship with this country. I did something that passport bros just don't do. They don't do. Number one, passport bros in his mind, and I want you all to pay attention to this, because what the lead attorney did was basically stereotype. He stereotyped passport bros. And this is a part of the reason why he does not call himself a passport bro, because he stereotyped passport bros. The lead attorney says that passport bros don't immerse themselves in the culture. He says passport bros don't take the time to study the language and to learn the language. And passport bros simply are operating from a short-term, low-frequency place when it comes down to travel. This is his idea of what a passport bro is. This is his idea. The lead attorney looks at passport bros in the same stereotypical ways that the haters of passport bros look at passport bros. The haters of passport bros, in this book right here, Don't Blame It on Rio. Don't blame it on Rio. The haters of passport bros are very reductionist. I'm going to give you some academic word salad. They're very, very reductionist. They're very, very reductionistic. And what I mean by they reduce passport bros to hedonism. They reduce passport bros to short-term sexual gratification. They reduce passport bros to merely sex tourists. Merely sex tourists. That is, all passport bros are hedonistic, driven by short-term pleasure. All of them, all of us rather, and I'm including myself, they reduce us to sex tourism. This is the stereotype, this is the stigma, and what have you. Now, having stated that stereotype, and the lead attorney lives with that stereotype, because the lead attorney does not want to be associated with that stereotype. He doesn't want to be connected with that stereotype. He sees the passport bro revolution through that lens, as many other people see the passport revolution. He sees it through that lens. And let me say this: it's a very narrow lens. It's a wrong lens to look at the passport revolution. Now, having said that, are there men who are hedonistic? Yes, there are men who are hedonistic, who travel. Are there men who are looking for short-term gratification when they travel abroad? Yes. Are there men who are willing to pay for this short-term gratification? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, of course, yes. Yes. Are there passport bros who are tricks? Yes. Are there passport bros who are tricking? Yes. Yes. There are passport bros who trick. There are traveling men who trick. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh God. Y'all know I travel, man. I was in Senegal. I was in Senegal, man. I've been to Senegal 1, 2, 3 times. I've been to Dakar, Senegal 3 times. I've been to Senegal, French Africa, West Africa, Muslim Africa. I've been to Senegal. And brother, let me tell you, man, there are white men in Senegal. There are white men from Germany. There are white men from France. There are white men from Canada. You go to Senegal, certain cities. I was in Dakar. You see those white men. They're soldiers, they're professionals, they're businessmen, and what have you. And they are hooked up with these fine, super fine, gorgeous, model-esque Senegalese women. And brothers, those white men, I've seen them. Those European men, they not there just because they trying to create a family. They're not there. These are European men. They're not there because they're trying to find a family. European men. And those European men can be found all across the continent of Africa. They can be found all over South America. You can find them all over just Latin America writ large. You can find them in Asia, in Thailand, in Vietnam, everywhere. Okay? They're everywhere. All right, everywhere. So, yeah, tricking has always existed. Tricking and going anywhere is a part of the human condition. It is what it is. It is what it is. Get over it. Get over it. Get over it. Get over it. It is what it is. The lead attorney does not want to call himself a passport bro. He does not want to affiliate himself with the passport revolution because he does not want to be associated with tricking. That's it. He does not want to be associated with tricking. He does not want to be seen as a trick. And he does not want the perception that he is a trick to impact him. To impact him personally, to impact him professionally, to impact his reputation. He didn't want to be seen as a trick. Because in American society, tricking is stigmatized. It's stigmatized. It's stigmatized in America. Although you have feminists, here's the thing. You have feminists in New York City who have worked hard to legalize. They're feminists in this country. You have the pro-sex, the slut walk feminist. They are working hard and overtime to legalize prostitution. They're working hard. You have feminists in New York who have successfully legalized it. They haven't gone far enough, in my estimation, in terms of decriminalizing prostitution. Feminists have not gone far enough. You have feminists in California who are working to decriminalize prostitution. And I think that they will not go far enough in decriminalizing prostitution. They will not go far enough. And when I say they are not going far enough, I'm saying that they are not going far enough in terms of dealing with the entire economy of prostitution and what it is that they're trying to accomplish with it. So it's still stigmatized in the United States. The United States still remains a culture that is addicted, or rather, is still tied to a kind of a Puritan inheritance. The U.S. continues to be mired in Puritan religion, Puritan Christianity, still mired into basically virginity and monogamy. Virginity and permanent monogamy, people waiting to get married, waiting to have sex within the context of marriage, not just women, but men also. That legacy, there's a Puritan legacy that was imported here from Europe. There's a Puritan legacy that was imported here from Europe by the early white settlers in the 17th century. And it is only in recent years that the culture has shifted, American culture has shifted in a way where it has basically kind of deconstructed in many ways, but not completely, that puritanical legacy. And we've seen that with the LGBTQ movement, with transgenderism, and with feminism, certain strains of feminism. Okay. Yeah. And Dr. Thunder is absolutely right. Yeah. They want to legalize tricking in ways where it benefits the person who sells. That is, they don't want to put the person who sells, the seller, they don't want to put the seller in jail. Say, okay, we're not going to put the seller in jail anymore. We don't want to put the seller in jail anymore. We want to put the buyer in jail. That's what they're doing. Don't put the seller in jail, but put the buyer in jail. That's what's happening in New York City, and that's what's happening in the state of California and in some other places in the United States. That's why I say they don't want to go far enough in terms of decriminalizing the entire historical institution called prostitution. They don't want to do that. You're absolutely right, Dr. Thunder. Thank you. And so basically, we are still living with a puritanical carryover. It's a carryover from history, carryover. And this is why, and let me give you an example of the puritanical carryover. Candace Owens. If you watch Candace Owens in recent years, I've done a live stream on Candace Owens. Candace Owens, if you go to her channel, go to Candace Owens' channel. And Candace Owens has been going hard, and she goes hard just in general. She goes hard against pro-sex culture. She goes hard against pro-sex feminism. Candace Owens goes hard in her criticisms of pornography, men who consume pornography. Candace Owens believes in purity. She believes she's a hardcore. She's a Christian now. The older that she gets, the older that Candace Owens becomes, the more puritanical she becomes. Just look at what Candace Owens, look at her. If you go to Candace Owens's channel and you look at the stuff that she says about sex, and you look at the stuff that she says about marriage, if you look at the stuff that she says about men and sex and men's sexuality, and you look at what she says about men and pornography and all that kind of stuff, and if you pay close attention to Candace Owens is essentially a Puritan. She's trying to revive Puritanism, Christian Puritanism. That's what she's trying to do. She's having baby after baby now. I think she's on her third baby right now. And she's married and everything like that. So she's trying to revive a kind of puritanical Christianity in terms of sexual morality. That's what Candace Owens is doing right now. So that's what I mean by the kind of carryover. The carryover of the puritanical Christian tradition that was brought here in the 17th century, the 1600s, by the Anglos, the Anglicans who first came here. Okay, that's what That's what that we're dealing right here. You know, Hugh Hefner is dead. Hugh Hefner, he was of that generation that fought against the Puritans. People like Larry Flint, he was someone, the man over Hustler magazine, he fought against the Puritans. The man who was responsible for the Two Live Crew, Luther Campbell, he fought against the Puritans. Andrew Tate, much of the angst and the animus towards Andrew Tate and everything. And speaking of Candace Owens, she did an interview with Andrew Tate and all of that. And when you look at her interview with Andrew Tate and you look at the videos that she has done in response to people who question why she interviewed Andrew Tate, all of their puritanical stuff comes out. All of it comes out. All of it comes out, okay? So the point that I'm trying to make with, with someone like the lead attorney is that the lead attorney, he's not a Puritan. He's not a puritanical guy, but he is a guy who is very much invested in respectability and respectability politics and what have you. And I'm going to say in very honest terms, yeah, I respect his respectability. I respect his respectability, and people have their reasons for being who they are. They have their reasons and what have you. And I must say that, the lead attorney, as I said earlier, he is not the only one, because there are anonymous men. There are anonymous men who travel. There are Black men in particular who are anonymous, who you will never see on social media, who want to remain in anonymity. They support this revolution, but they want to remain in anonymity because of this respectability thing, this respectability factor. Now, here's what's interesting about respectability and respectability politics, and when it comes down to the passport bro revolution and sexuality, and right here. Here's what's very interesting, and I want you guys to really listen to me carefully. Here's what's very interesting. We live in a time right now, we live in a time where a man who is sexually attracted to another man, a man who has preferences, desires, a man who desires another man, a man who is in a romantic relationship with another man, a man who is even married to another man, depending on what state you live in and what have you. We are living in a moment where those men are applauded. Those men are celebrated. They're applauded and they're celebrated. Homosexuality is applauded. Out homosexuality, a man who is openly or outwardly gay, or men who are openly and outwardly gay, they are applauded. They are celebrated. Black men who are openly and outwardly gay, they are applauded and they are celebrated. They are applauded and they're celebrated, whether they are in a short-term, long-term relationship. They're applauded or celebrated if they happen to live in a state which allows them to get married. They are applauded and they are applauded and celebrated. We are in a moment, right? No one cares about two men, it doesn't matter where they come from, who prefer each other. There's no problem. The feminists have no problem with that. The liberals have no problem with that. It's in our face all the time. And the reason why that is because these people, the LGBTQIA plus whatever, these people have, and we have to acknowledge it, these people over the last 35 years have worked real hard. They have worked overtime. They have worked overtime to destigmatize, to decriminalize homosexuality. They have worked overtime to destigmatize homosexuality. That's why you can live in a major city. It doesn't matter where you live in. I live in North Carolina. You can walk. You can live in a major city like Charlotte, North Carolina. You can live in Greensboro, North Carolina. You can live in Raleigh, North Carolina. You can live in Durham, North Carolina. You can live in Chapel Hill, and you can see two men holding hands walking down the street. You can see them. You can see them in bars. You can see them in restaurants. You can see them at parks. You can see them everywhere. I got 100 people who are watching this stream. I got 100 people watching this stream right now. We're talking about why the lead attorney refuses to call himself a passport broker. The LGBTQ people have effectively destigmatized homosexuality. It is what it is. It took them about 35 years. It took them 35 years. It took a whole bunch of lawyers. This is interesting because the lead attorney is a lawyer. It took them 35 years. It took them 35 years and it took a whole bunch of lawyers. I want y'all to get this. It took them 35 years and a whole bunch of lawyers to decriminalize homosexuality. It took them 35 years and a whole bunch of lawyers to normalize homosexuality. Okay? I'm old enough. I turned 50 in September. I'm old enough to remember when homosexuality was publicly condemned as a sin. I'm old enough to remember. I am old enough to remember when homosexuality was publicly condemned as a sin. I remember in 1987 when AIDS was rocking America. AIDS. I remember in 1987. I remember when the famous actor Rock Hudson had died of AIDS. I remember when you had a whole bunch of gay men being decimated by AIDS. I remember the preachers. I remember politicians. I remember all kinds of people who were saying that AIDS was a punishment for homosexuality. It was a punishment for sin. They were talking about Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom and Gomorrah. This is Sodom. This is the punishment for sin. God is rendering judgment on homosexuality. I remember those days. I remember those days. And back in those days, those gay people had to hide in the closet. They had to hide in the closet. Back in those days, you remember Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington was in a film with Tom Hanks. Does anybody remember, was it The Band Played On or something like that? Anybody remember the film that Denzel Washington was in? If you remember the title of that film, it was Denzel Washington and Tom Hanks. Denzel Washington was a lawyer. Tom Hanks was a gay white man with AIDS and what have you, and he played the lawyer and all that kind of stuff. You had these men who were professionals. They were losing their jobs. These guys were losing their jobs because they were gay. They were gay. It was discovered that they were gay and they were losing their jobs. It's called Philadelphia. Where's Passport OG? Thank you, Passport. Thank you, Detroit. Detroit and Passport OG. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Good to see you, Passport OG. Y'all support Passport OG's channel. Y'all support his channel. Support his channel. You remember these guys? These guys were in the closet, and they're mainly white guys. So you had white guys in the early '80s. Even before that, you had gay guys on Wall Street. You had gay guys in the government. You had gay guys in the world of law. You had gay guys at high levels of society. Some of these guys were married. Some of these guys were not married. But they were in the closet. They were in the closet. And they made lots of money. They had social status and prestige. And they had to stay in the closet at that particular time. If somebody discovered that they was gay, those CEOs, those corporate managers, those people in human resources and whatever, their co-workers, their managers, their supervisors, those guys lost jobs. They lost jobs. They lost jobs. They lost jobs. And what happened is that laws had to be created. Laws had to be created. Old laws had to be reinforced. The employment sector, they had to reinvent themselves. And employment law had to revise itself. They had to actually create laws against discrimination based on your sexual preference or your sexual orientation. It is illegal. Right? I'm talking to you today right now where it is illegal to fire somebody based on their sexual preferences or their sexual orientation. It is illegal. You can get sued for that today in 2023. But there was a time when you couldn't do that. There was a time when you couldn't do that. Why am I talking about all of this? Thank you, Christopher Clipper. Why am I talking about all of this? Because we're the last people. We're the people who have not been recognized by law and policy. That is the passport bros, the passport revolution. We're the last. What does that mean? That means see, the passport bro revolution is forcing societies, especially Western societies, to let go of whatever stigmas that you have around heterosexual men. It is forcing Western societies to let go of whatever stigmas that you have around heterosexual men who are not married. Let go of it. Let go of the stigmas. Let go of the stigma surrounding the heterosexual bachelor. That's it, the bachelor who was a heterosexual. The straight man, the man whose preference is women, the man who is not going to get married, the man who has no incentive to get married in American society, the man who was a bachelor who is free to exercise his options. And he can exercise his options, his preferences at a short-term level. He can exercise his preference and his options in terms of long-term relationships. And it may or may not include marriage. So the lead attorney does not associate himself with the passport bro movement primarily because the bachelor, the man who was a bachelor, the heterosexual black man in particular, who was a bachelor, who happens to be a professional, who happens to be a high achiever, that man is still and remains stigmatized in the popular imagination. He is stigmatized. And the lead attorney does not want to be associated with those stigmas. Why are you going to Mexico? Why are you going to Cartagena? Why are you going to Medellin? Why are you going to Rio de Janeiro? Why are you going to Salvador Bahia? Why are you going to Sao Paulo? Why are you going to Vietnam? Why are you going to Thailand? Why are you going to the Philippines? Why are you going to Kenya? Why are you going to Tanzania? Why are you going to Rwanda? Why are you going to Gambia? Why are you going to Senegal? Why are you traveling? The lead attorney wants to maintain respectability. I read this book right here, Don't Blame It on Rio, the real deal on why black men go to Brazil. And this book right here, Blame It on Rio, what it says about black men is no different from what the passport bros say, the passport bro haters say about black men on TikTok and on YouTube. Now, here is the big thing. Here is the big thing. The lead attorney does not want to be stigmatized, so he distanced himself from the passport bro movement. The lead attorney, his audience consists of a large number of black American women. There are large numbers of black American women who are part of his 300 and almost 50,000 subscriber list. Large numbers. Those black women are giving him lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money. Y'all hit the Cash App $BMI 3000, Cash App $BMI 3000. This is the TMP broadcast, the Mad Professor. You're not going to get this anywhere else. You're not going to get this anywhere else, guys. You're not going to get this content anywhere else. You're not going to get this from these, underdeveloped passport bros. You're not going to get it from them. Cash App $BMI, Cash App $BMI 3000, Cash App $BMI. Hit the super chat. Hit the super chat. The lead attorney is right. Hit the likes. The lead attorney is right. This is not good for a man's reputation, a professional man's reputation. And he said it on his he said it on his stream. He is concerned that if he talks too much, the lead attorney was very particular about how much he shared about his experience as a man who traveled. He was very particular. He was very careful. And he said that, you know what, there's only so much that I'm going to say publicly, because if I say too much, it's going to hurt me. The lead attorney says that if I say too much about my experience with traveling, it is going to hurt me. Somebody is going to use it against me. He said this on his stream. Somebody is going to use this against me if I say too much about traveling as a professional black man. Somebody is going to use this against me. Thank you. Good to see you, BGS. Good to see you, BGS. This is Black Man's University. Black Man's University. BMU, 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 BMU. This is Black Man's University. Thank you for that support. Thank you for that support. Cash App, $BMI 3000. Cash App, $BMI 3000. I'm going to tell you, the lead attorney is right. The lead attorney is right. Talking about this stuff as a professional Black man does not give you googobs of currency. It doesn't. It doesn't. Talking about this stuff as a professional Black man is a liability. It is a liability. It is a professional liability. It is a liability. This is a liability. This is not an asset. This is a liability. Talking explicitly about this passport revolution as someone who actually travels, it is a liability if you have reached a certain level of socioeconomic status. It's almost like being gay in 1981. It's like being gay in being a professional man who promotes travel ideology, and to do it openly, you suffer the same type of risk and consequences as a man who was gay in 1980. You suffer the same consequences. If you don't have FU money, which is important, if you don't have FU money, if you're not willing to risk it all, if you're not willing to lose it all, if you are not a venture capitalist, and you have to be a venture capitalist in order to do this type of stuff, if you are not a venture capitalist talking about the passport revolution, you suffer the same fate as a homosexual who was a professional in 1981, 82, 83. Long before the homosexuals, the gay people fought to destigmatize and to decriminalize homosexuality. And what has to be done at this level, and what I am doing, because I am a unapologetic passport bro. Unapologetic passport bro. I've posted pictures on my community tab. I've posted pictures of my travels. I have an Instagram, Ronald B. Neal Instagram. My entire Instagram is a travel page. I started Instagram in 2017. If you go to my Instagram, I have a small subscribership, but everything on my Instagram is about travel. 90% of my content on Instagram is about travel. And the reason why I post travel and the reason why I do this, because I am thoroughly convinced that this is the final solution for Black men. And the reason why I do this, because you gotta practice. A man like me, passport bros in general, you got to practice what you preach. If I'm going to preach the passport revolution, if I'm going to preach passport or travel ideology as a final solution for Black men, I have to practice what I preach. I got to live it. And I want my people to have evidence. This is just me personally. I'm not saying that everybody has to do this, But my people have to have evidence. I want my people to have evidence. If I testify to the reality of what it means to be a part of a passport revolution, if I testify and say that this is a real solution, I'm going to give you evidence. In addition to my own personal testimony, the anecdotes of my life, I'm going to give you evidence to back it up. This is just me. This is my personal commitment. But the lead attorney does not want to go that far. He cannot go that far because there's too much at stake for the lead attorney. There's too much at stake. And what is one of the big things that's at stake? Look at this. You all see this? If you guys can see the title, if you all can see the title, this comes from the preface of this book. If you can see the preface of this book, put 3 in the chat. Put 3 in the chat. Put 3 in the chat, guys. If you can see the preface, put 3 in the chat, guys. If you can see the preface of this book, I want to make sure that you can see everything. Do y'all see what this says right here? Can y'all see everything? Just post 3 in the chat and let me know that you see the preface. Good, 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 good. Awesome, 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 awesome. Thanks again. You're absolutely right, Passport OG. The day is over. The day is over. The day is over. The day of the timid black man is over. That's it. This is what it's all about. The day of the timid black. Somebody got to take some risk. You got to take a risk. You got to take a risk. You know, I'm not a fan of the former president who has now been indicted. He's been indicted by 2 state district attorneys. The former president, he's been indicted by 2 different state attorneys. The former president of the United States, as he strives to become POTUS for the second time. The man strives to become POTUS for the second time. I don't care what y'all think about him. And again, I'm not putting in a plug for him, but I'm going to tell you something about the ex-president of the United States. That man got some cojones. We talking about language. He got some cojones. He got some cojones. This is a man who done put it on the wood. You done put it on the wood. Now I know he's a super rich man. I get it. He's a super rich man. He's a billionaire and all that kind of stuff. I get it. But here's the deal. How many billionaires do we see every day who just put it on the wood, who put everything on the line? How many billionaires, man? How many billionaires? How many billionaires have put it on the line for the stuff that they think is right? How many, man? How many billionaires who say whatever they want to, whatever they think, what they want to, who say what they want to say and believe they're right? How many people do that? You can say what you want to say about the man, but that man got some cojones. So yes, the day of the timid black man is over. It is done with. Thank you, Passport OG. Thank you, 189. I talk about the past. I got to stand on it. I got to live it. I'm a professional man, just like the lead attorney. I use my real name. I did a disclosure at the start of this video. I did a disclosure at the start of this video because I'm dealing with real stuff. Based on the stuff that I stand on. I'm dealing with real stuff right now based on what I stand on, talking to you. And for those, let me put the disclaimer out there. Let me put the disclaimer out there again for those who are just tuning in. The views that are represented by Ronald Neal are all his own. The perspective that is communicated by me does not represent any institution. The perspective represented by me, Ronald Neal, does not represent any college or university, does not represent any church or denomination, does not represent any business or any organization. The views that I put out here are all my own. And I am saying this for legal purposes. I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm putting out these disclaimers for legal purposes. It's good to see Charles Faulkner. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, my brother. Woo! Good to see you. Woo! Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, you have to let out. At some point, you have to let out that internal Ric Flair. You gotta. This is who I am. Let that internal Ric Flair come out. Woo! You gotta do it. Thank you, Dar. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. We appreciate that. I got almost 100 people who are watching here, man. 100 people who are watching here. 100 people who are watching. This is Black Man University. Subscribe, share, like. I'm just talking to you guys as Black men, and I'm talking to you as an intellectual, as a scholar, as a man who travels. I spent 1 month in East Africa. I'm still high off 1 month in East Africa, man. I was in Kenya. I was in Nairobi, Kenya, and then I went to Kampala, Uganda, man. I was in East Africa. I spent in approximately 1 month in East Africa, Nairobi, Kenya. I spent the bulk of my time in Nairobi, Kenya. Then I went over, man. I went over to Kampala. I hung out with O'Shea Duke Jackson and his entire crew. And it was an invaluable experience. I do it again. I plan on doing it again. Gonna do it again. But here's the other part of it. You see the preface right here. This is a part of the book. You see the preface right here. I'm not going to name it out. I'll put it like this. The preface says, "Are Black women necessary?" The preface says, "Are Black women necessary?" I want y'all to put, here's what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to look at that question right here. And I want y'all to answer that question. Yes or no? Are Black women, are Black women necessary? Yes or no? Just put it down in the chat. We going hard tonight. We going hard tonight. If you have the gall, if you have the audacity, if you have the gumption, if you have the testosterone, I want you to answer this question right here. Are they necessary? If you have the testosterone, I'm not forcing you to do it. I'm not coercing you to do it. You don't have to do it. You understand what I'm saying? But this is a major question. And this is the question that is in this book. Don't blame it on Rio. This is in the book. This is in the book. This is in the book. Don't blame it on Rio. The real deal behind why black men go to Brazil. This is in the book. This is the preface of the book. It's in the preface. I'm going to read this. If professional black women gave black men what we really needed and wanted, there would be no need for us to go over to Brazil or any place else. There are plenty of black women here who are single, but being single and being professional just ain't enough. Most professional black men feel that they can spend their own money. What I'm looking for from a woman is something totally different. Some women call it chauvinistic or old school or something like that. You hear women talking all the time about what's happening out here. They say that men can't be trusted, men cheat, they're no good. They look outward. They never look within themselves to see what they are doing. They never ask what they need to change. It doesn't take much for a decent professional man to get married. Any professional black man can get married. I can find a wife, but is it what I want? And the thing that I notice about myself in taking these pilgrimages to Brazil and the Dominican Republic is that I have lost patience with a lot of black women in America. I'm a serious man. Sometimes I go out with women and they are totally into me, and then they start doing things that just kind of annoy me, that probably would not have annoyed me before because my objective was so clear to make this into something. I don't have that level of patience now. Oh my God, let me go back to this. I don't have that level of patience now. I don't have that level of patience now. I don't have, oh my God, I don't have that level of patience now. I want to be served. I want to be treated the way I need to be treated mentally, physically, sexually. I would like to have a significant relationship with a sister in America, but if I have to compromise, I'm just not willing to do it. I can't, not when I can just export me one from Brazil who would take care of me if I bring her here. He meant to say import. Well, depending on where he is. Isaac 41, attorney. Attorney. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear what I just read? Did you guys hear what I just read? Put 2 in the chat if you can hear what I just read. Put 2 in the chat if y'all heard it. Willie at 3R, because I don't like Trump and I voted for him. I didn't vote for Trump either, Willie R. I didn't vote for him. He is a populist that you're absolutely right. Bernie Sanders should have been. Democrats don't want the populist vote. Nope, you're absolutely right. They don't want it. So they go cheap and try to prosecute him. Yep, that is exactly what they do. Willie R. That is exactly what they do, man. Thank you for that super chat, man. Thank you for that super chat. That's exactly what they do. They take the shortcut route. It's the shortcut route, brothers. That's what they do. That's what they do. Thank you for that. Barry Little, thank you for that, man. Thank you for that support. Super chat, super sticker, man. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. We appreciate you, man. Long time faithful supporter, man. I appreciate you, brother. Sorry Rogers, again, thank you, my brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, my faithful brother. We appreciate your help. We appreciate your support, my brother. We appreciate your support. Y'all saw y'all heard what I read. You got it. I read it in your ears. That man said, he says, I don't have that level of patience now. I want to read this because this is like, I feel like shouting. I feel like an old woman in church right now. I'm into me. And then they start doing things that just kind of annoy me, that probably would not have annoyed me before my objective was so clear to make this into something. I don't have that level of patience now. I just got to say it again. I don't have that level of patience now. I now want to be served. I want to be treated the way I need to be treated mentally, physically, sexually. I would like to have a significant relationship with a sister in America, but if I have to compromise, I'm just not willing to do it. I can't. Not when I can just export. If you're in Brazil, you export. If you're in America, you import. Meet one from Brazil who will take care of me. I will bring her here. It's an interesting book, guys. You guys might want to check it out. Do you know why the lead attorney refuses? Do you know why the lead attorney? I'm going to tell you why the lead attorney refuses to identify himself. I'm going to tell you why the lead attorney refuses to identify with the passport revolution. I'm going to tell y'all why. It's coming. I want y'all to get ready for this. I want y'all to get ready for this. It's coming. I'm writing it now. I'm putting in the dialogue box, and I'm going to show it. I'm going to show y'all why the lead attorney. I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to show y'all. I'm about to show y'all. Do you know why? I'm going to tell y'all why the lead attorney refuses. This is the reason why the lead attorney refuses to identify with the passport revolution. This is why the lead attorney refuses. This is why. The passport revolution explodes the myth of female exceptionalism in America. The passport revolution explodes. It explodes the myth that women in America and Western culture in general are better and more superior than women in other parts of the world. It explodes it. It explodes it. What we've learned over the last year in terms of all of the attacks against passport bros, especially in America, all the TikTok videos, all the YouTube videos, all the stuff on Instagram and stuff on Facebook, is that these women think in the United States, they think that they are superior and better than women in other countries, in other parts of the world, especially the developing world. They think they're smarter. They think they are more advanced. They think they are less gullible to the machinations of men. They think they are boss chicks. They think they run things. They think the world revolves around them. They think they are exceptional. They have been conditioned to believe that they are at the center of the universe. This is all of them. This is all. Female exceptionalism in America is an extension of American exceptionalism. Female exceptionalism. It is an extension of American exceptionalism. Americans generally are told and taught that America is at the center of the universe. We believe that. When Americans travel to other countries, especially countries that are not as developed as the United States, so-called third world countries, Americans bring that mentality with them. And those Americans who bring those mentalities with them are met in a very swift and often punishing way by those cultures with a check and a balance which tells them that no, you are not exceptional. If you guys have, how many of you guys have paid attention to the story of the black woman who was stuck in Dubai? If you all are familiar with that story of the black woman who was stuck in Dubai for over 3 months, she just came back to the United States, a woman from Houston, Texas. She was stuck in Dubai for 3 months. If y'all know about that story, put 4 in the chat. She was stuck in Dubai for 3 months. Put 4 in the chat. Because she raised her voice, she was in Dubai. Something happened with a rental car. They had an accident. The car was impounded. Her things were in the car. The rental company got the car back. And she went to retrieve her things from the rental place. This is the story that is told. This is the story that's told. She went back to retrieve her things from this rental company, and they told her that she had to pay a fee. You got to pay a fee to get your stuff back. You have to pay a fee in order to get your belongings back. And this woman basically went nuts, got into a verbal exchange with whomever represented the rental car company, and that woman was charged with a crime. She was charged with a crime. She was charged with a crime. And she was detained. She was detained in Dubai for 3 months. Couldn't leave. She couldn't leave the country. She couldn't leave the country. And brothers, I don't have to tell you that the reason why that happened, the reason why that happened to that woman in Dubai is because this woman thought that she was special. This woman thought she was special, guys. She thought she was exceptional. America taught this woman that she was better than people in that part of the world. America taught her that she was superior. And that the people in that country were supposed to bow down to her demands, her emotions, to her Americanness, her exceptional attitude. They bursted her bubble. Her bubble was bursted. No one could help her. Here's the thing: nobody can help her. She was lucky. She's back in Texas right now. This woman is back in Texas right now. She's back in Texas. She just got back to Texas. She just got back. People had to raise money for her to get money to get a plane ticket. She almost didn't make it out of customs in Dubai to get back. That's the story that's being told about this woman. She is a victim of American exceptionalism. She is a victim of female exceptionalism. Female exceptionalism. What the passport revolution does is it explodes the myth of female exceptionalism. You're not everything that you think you are. You're not. When they go to when they travel to other countries, they have to learn real quick that no, you are not what you think you are. No one has to bow down to your deep American sense of entitlement. No. No one cares about what you deserve. No one cares about it. The lead attorney, let me get back to the lead attorney. The lead attorney does not associate with the passport revolution. The lead attorney does not associate with the passport bros because the lead attorney does not want to explode the myth of female exceptionalism in America when it comes down to what the passport bro revolution really, really means. He has a huge female following. He has a huge female following. When I saw him, when I was following his live stream, there were women on his live stream just hating on passport bros. It was a bunch of hate in the chat. I was in the chat. There was nothing but hate from women on passport bros as he was talking about travel, black men in travel. Nothing but hate and vitriol in the chat. There was nothing but hate in the chat. I told y'all he pulled the live stream down. You can go to his channel. He pulled their live stream down. He probably put it on his Patreon channel. He did not allow their live stream to stay up on his channel. As a matter of fact, he clipped his live stream. He posted clips of the video from his live stream. Then he pulled the clips from the videos. He pulled the clips from his live stream. They're not on his channel right now. You can go to his channel right now. The live stream that I didn't see it. If you can find it, I want y'all to send it to me. I want you to send me screenshots if you can find it. I couldn't find it. I could not find any clips from his live stream from Tuesday night. And I could not find the full live stream from Tuesday night. And I was right there watching the entire live stream. And I know why he pulled it down. The passport revolution explodes the myth of female exceptionalism. She thinks she's better educated. She thinks she's better educated. Let me tell you something, brothers. Let me tell you something. I just left. I just left from I was in Nairobi, Kenya. I was in Kampala, Uganda. I've been, let me tell you something. I've been in West Africa, man. There's a clip. The guys from the Daily Rap, they did a video. It's been going, it's been passed around and shared millions of times. There's a black woman on a Daily Rap show responding to Passport Bros, and this black woman is just going. She's young. She's maybe 26, 27, and she's just going on and on about how women from developing countries are uneducated and they don't speak English and they're poor and they're walking around bare feet and all that kind of stuff. Let me tell you something, brothers. For my own travels, I go to Africa. I meet women who speak. I meet women who speak 3 different languages. They speak 3 different languages. I'm dealing. I'm talking to a woman, a beautiful woman, a model from Nairobi. I got a model chick from Nairobi right now. Sudanese background. She speaks 3 different languages. I'm dealing with a woman who speaks 3 different languages. She speaks English, she speaks Swahili, and she speaks the local language of the community that she was born into. She's educated. She's finishing a master's degree. When I was in Gambia, I'm dealing with women who speak multiple languages, multiple African dialects, along with English. I'm in Senegal. They speak English, they speak French, they speak Wolof, and they speak other dialects. How many black women have you met in your lifetime who speaks more than English? Who speaks more than one language? Come on here. In my lifetime, I've only met maybe 3 black women who speak who speak at least 2 languages. English is her first language. Her second language might be Spanish. Her second language might be French. I've met these women like this, but I don't meet these women every day. You go to Africa, they all over the place. You go to Africa, they all over the place. Multiple language, multiple languages. They're not dumb. They're not stupid. And when you have that type of experience, it changes the game. When you have that type of experience, you can no longer look at the world the same way. The lead attorney, he got women. The lead attorney is based in Atlanta, Georgia. The lead attorney is based in Atlanta, Georgia. And he got women who follow him, and he has a lot of middle-class women. He has a lot of middle-class women following him. A lot of upper class, upper middle class women following him. I guarantee you, brothers, that these women, their experience with travel, a lot of these women, the furthest that they have gone is the Bahamas. The furthest that they have gone in the world is Jamaica. And this is no shade on parts of the Caribbean. The furthest they've gone is Barbados. And this is not all of them. They're very cosmopolitan, sophisticated women. I'm sure that follow him, who are real world travelers. But the point I'm trying to make, guys, is that they're not as exceptional as they think they are. But the lead attorney cannot come out directly and say, honey, my sister, my dear, you are not exceptional. He can't come out and say it. When the lead attorney was talking about how he was received in Mexico by women, the women in the chat, the women who were subscribed to his channel, they were going crazy. When the lead attorney said that he was treated like a god when he was in Mexico, the women in the chat were going crazy. They did not like it. They did not like it. What they doing is treating that nigga that way. What they doing? They treating that Negro. You don't deserve to be treated that way. You don't deserve to be treated that way. Don't no black man deserve to be treated that way. She subscribed to him, but she still got that stuff in there. Thank you, Nuruddin. FDNY guy. He says that his former students have moved to Brazil and Colombia and are doing online real estate overages, making 6 figures. Look at this. His former students. Good for them. Good for them. Thank you for that, man. Thank you for that support, my brother. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, man. We got over 100 people in the chat. We got over 100 people in the chat, man. BMI, Cash App, $ BMI, Cash App, $ BMI, man. We going hard. I had to talk about this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. New York Fire Department. Fire Department, New York guy, man. We appreciate you, man. Nuruddin is in the house, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, my brother. Afro National, man. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, 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 Afro National. Thank you. Appreciate your support, my brother. Tuition. Support the Black Man University. BMU. This is the Black Man University, BMU. That's it. You ain't special. She ain't special. The lead attorney cannot tell his audience, his female audience, that they're not special. He cannot come out and say directly, y'all ain't special. I know y'all got the Black Girl Magic and Black Girls Rock and all that kind of stuff. And you know, you got Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is the vice president. You know, Ketanji Brown Jackson, she is the Supreme Court, you know, justice and everything. Hell, Fannie Willis is out there in Georgia. She's prosecuting Donald Trump. Fannie Willis, she is the district attorney in Georgia. She is prosecuting. You got a black woman who is literally prosecuting Donald Trump, a black woman in the state of Georgia who is threatening to put Donald Trump in jail. In Harris County, Texas, you got a bunch of black women who are judges. They're judges in Harris County. Bunch of black women, they're judges in the courts. Black girl magic, all of it. You got black women who are state attorneys. You got black women at the highest levels of government. All that kind of stuff. These black women, I mean, yeah, they're doing amazing things. They're amazing things. These black women are doing amazing things. The professionals. But that doesn't mean that they're better than women from other parts of the world. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. I got a PhD. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. I got a PhD. Shout out to the late memory of Kevin Samuels, the Godfather. I got a PhD. That don't make you better than these women. It doesn't make her better than women in Rio and Sao Paulo and, my God, Gambia. It doesn't make her better than women, poor women in Nigeria and women in the Congo and women in Niger. It doesn't make her better. It don't make you better. And because she's not better, because she's not superior, that means that a black man has no reason to not expand his options. He ain't got no reason to not expand his options. Thank you, Nuruddin. Nuruddin says that he renewed his passport and he will be getting his Class A commercial driver license with my hazmat. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Get the passport. All you young future passport bros, get your passport. Get your passport. All your teenagers, the 15-year-olds, the 16-year-olds, the 17-year-olds, the 18-year-olds, the future passport bros, get your passport. Prepare for the future. We need to be talking about the future passport bros of America. Prepare for the future. You're not exceptional. And I have to say this, I have to say this emphatically. Again, we can talk about black women, but it's not just black women. This is an American. This is an American/Western thing. This is an American/Western thing, where the Western woman thinks that she is exceptional. The Western woman thinks she can't be replaced. That's the whole thing. The woman in America, the woman in the West, when it comes down to the sexual marketplace, here's the thing. When it comes down to the sexual marketplace, the woman in America, the woman in the Western world, she thinks that she can't be replaced. That's the bottom line. And technology, globalization, the elimination or the erasure of borders has made it clear that she can be replaced. That you can completely bypass her. You can completely bypass her with a passport and an iPhone. All you need is a passport and an iPhone, brothers, and the world is at your fingertip, or an Android. I get down with my Android. All you need is a passport and a iPhone or a Android or some type of communication device, and it bypasses the exceptionalism that these women have been conditioned to believe. Oh my God, the exceptionalism. Detroit 313 says, what's crazy? I heard in Germany they treat black men over there like human beings. Look at that. Yet they are checking out on black men. I heard about them. I've heard about the stories too. I know about the stories. I know men who've been to Germany. I've been hearing about Germany since I was 13 years old. I've been hearing about Germany since I was 13 years old. Detroit 313. 13 years old. I've been hearing about Germany since I was 13. I got some stories. I got some stories that I've been told. Man, I got some, man, shoot. I'm almost tempted to tell a story about Germany right now. I'm almost tempted to tell a story about Germany. I can't, man, shoot. I can't tell that story here. I can't tell that story here. It's an old story, but I can't tell it right here. Thank you for that support, my brother. Shout out to the docs and BGS and BMU. That's right. Thank you again, Sorry. Thank you again, my brother. Thank you again. This is where the lead attorney, and I don't know if he's watching or listening or whatever. The lead attorney did not post, and this is my theory. I could be wrong, but I'm just gonna give you my theory. The lead attorney understood that his last passport bro video was so explosive and so controversial. He knew it. The lead attorney knew that that video was so explosive and so controversial because he was saying some stuff. He was talking about some real stuff. He dropped some gems on his personal experiences. He even, I'm gonna say, he talked about some of the sexual aspects. He talked about some of the sexual aspects of his experience in Mexico. And when he talked about some of the sexual aspects of his experience in Mexico, I could see the hesitation. I can see the fear. I can see the concern on his face. I can see it. He was like, when the lead attorney was talking about, oh my God, I don't know, how far should I go with the story? How far should I go with the story? Should I share this? Should I go in detail? How far should I go with this? How far should I? I saw it on his face. The lead attorney, I saw it on his face. He was working hard to censor himself, to not say too much about his sexual experiences in Mexico, and not to say too much about the manner in which women in Mexico were on his butt like white on rice. How he was exotic and they wanted to be with him. He was censoring himself. He was censoring himself. But here's the deal. We're talking about the exporting of men. We're talking about the exporting of men's resources. We're talking about a real brain drain. We're talking about a drain to the sexual economy, a drain. It's a drain. It drains the economy. It drains the sexual economy. They say, you know, we have the 80-20 rule, the 80-20 rule. 80% of the women want 20% of the men. What happens when you have a huge chunk of that 20% who joined the passport revolution? You have the 80-20 rule. 80% of the women want 20% of the men. What happens when you have a huge chunk of that 20% join the passport revolution? What happens? What happens when that huge chunk of men from that 20% outsources and exports and invests their resources and talents in other lands? What happens? It collapses the sexual economy. It collapses it. The lead attorney works hard at being a nice guy. The lead attorney works hard at being a guy who is fair and balanced. Fair and balanced. He works real hard at doing that. And I have to tell you, the lead attorney does a real good job at being. It's because he has unique skills as a lawyer. He has that comes from being uniquely skilled as a lawyer. Most human beings don't have that capacity, or they don't have those skills. And on his channel, with his content, dealing with family law in particular, he tries to be fair and balanced. That's what he tries to do. Even though he came out the gate because he was concerned about how men were being railroaded in family court. So this is a man who came out the gate starting a YouTube channel because he was trying to educate men, because he was concerned about how men were being railroaded in family court. But as he ventured deeper into YouTube and as he gained subscribers and as he grew and what have you, there was a demand that he be fair and balanced, fair and balanced, fair and balanced, fair and balanced. Thank you, Nuruddin, for that additional support. We appreciate you. That's right. If they're exceptional, their sons are getting passports. You're absolutely right. Their sons are getting passports. This is an indictment on them. Nuruddin, FD New York guy, this is an indictment on them if their sons are getting passports. This indicts them. The lead attorney does not want to alienate his female base. Doesn't want to do that. I'm sure. I know at this point in his development, I know he's making close to. I know if he's not making $1 million a year on YouTube, if the lead attorney right now is not making $1 million a year on YouTube at this point, I'm sure he's making close to $1 million a year on YouTube. He's making close to $1 million a year on YouTube. At this point, with almost 350,000 subscribers, he's got to be making, this is buku money. Women like him. Women like the lead attorney. The lead attorney is a nice guy. The lead attorney has he has a decent personality. He's a social guy. You can tell that this guy is a very social guy. You can tell that the lead attorney is a guy, he understands people. He understands personalities. He knows how to communicate with people. They will say, this is a guy who has he has extraordinary soft skills. He has extraordinary soft skills. In the professional world, if you're a man and you're in the professional world and you have extraordinary soft skills, that just takes you everywhere. You can't be stopped. He's a very likable individual. He's a likable man. He knows how to communicate. He's a lawyer. You have to know how to be in law. You have to know how to communicate with people. But to be in law, you have to also be respectable. You have to be respectable. You have to maintain a certain type of image. You have to. You have to maintain an image of respectability. There are certain lines that you cannot cross if you are a lawyer. That's why you see these guys in suits. That's why he's always in the suit. Sometimes he will come on camera and he's wearing a hoodie and, he's very, very super casual, but 99% of the time when the lead is on, he is suited and booted. He has his tie, he has his getup, he has all of his paraphernalia associated with the respectability of his profession. If you want to maintain that type of respectability, you can't say that you co-sign tricks or you co-sign tricking. You just can't say it. You just can't say that, man. You can't say it. You got to maintain that female base. Now, here's what I want to say about lead attorney that I didn't say earlier, which is very, very important. And I'm glad Passport OG is here. I'm glad Theo. I'm glad Passport OG is here. I'm glad Passport OG is here. And Passport OG, I don't know if you. I'm thinking about dropping the link, and I would love for you to come up. But here's what I want to say, and I'm glad Passport OG is here. One thing that the lead attorney said, which I thought was very important and significant for those of us who were part of the Passport revolution, is that it is important when you travel, if this is going to be a lifestyle for you, and if you're very, very serious about it, if you're real serious about travel, then you have to be serious about learning the cultures that you are immersing yourselves in. But most particularly, if you travel in this capacity, you have to learn language. You have to learn language. That's why I'm glad Passport OG is here. He's in Japan. You have to learn language. The lead attorney said that he does not. The lead attorney says that, and it's basically his dilemma, his problem with the Passport Bros. And this really has to do with the fact that he has a deeply held stereotype of Passport Bros. He doesn't understand the complexity. He doesn't understand the sophistication that is a part of the Passport revolution. The lead attorney says that you need to learn a language. So like what he did, if you go to Mexico, you need to speak Spanish. All you guys who are traveling to the Dominican Republic, all you guys who are traveling to Colombia, you're traveling to various parts of Central America or South America, you guys who are going to Costa Rica, you guys who are going to Venezuela or what have you, you need to learn Spanish. If that's what you're going to be doing, and you're going to be doing that for an extended period of time, if you plan on doing that for years and years and years, you need to learn Spanish. And he's right about that. He's right. He's right. He's right. If you're really serious about this, it doesn't matter why you're going, whether you're going for short-term demands or long-term demands, you need to learn the language. You really do. When I was in French-speaking Africa, when I was in Senegal, in Dakar, you know, yeah, it was clear to me. It was clear to me. And I have a little bit of French under my belt. I have enough French for me to get around. But it was clear to me, after 3 consecutive trips to Senegal, West Africa, French-speaking Africa, it was clear to me after 3 consecutive trips to Senegal that if I really want to get the benefits of being in West Africa and French-speaking Africa, I need to be fluent in French. Wolof is another thing, but I need to be fluent in French. I need to have more than just the ability to get by with French or the basics in French. I need to be able to speak French. And it was clear to me when I went to Brazil. When I went to Brazil in 2021, I went to Brazil 2 times back to back in 2021. Shout out to the Black Man's Option. Before my first trip to Brazil, I sat down. I bought me some books in Portuguese. And I sat down and tried to teach myself some Portuguese. Before I went to Brazil in 2021, I was looking at all sorts of YouTube videos on Portuguese. I was absorbing a bunch of YouTube videos on Portuguese before my trip to Brazil with the Black Man's Option. Over 30 black men traveling to Rio de Janeiro. And I got there and, I was a novice and, I was a novice. I learned stuff. I learned the basics and all that kind of stuff, but I was far from fluent. Oh my God, far from fluent. How can you get fluent in a language in 3 weeks? You know what I'm saying? But the point is that I wanted to go there and at least know some basic stuff. But I'm gonna tell you what happened the second time I went to Brazil. My second trip, and it was a consecutive trip, and it was, my trips were spaced like, within 2 months. I went and I continued to read Portuguese and try to understand the language, and I learned more about Portuguese. And when I went to Brazil for the second time for 11 days, I had some decent basic Portuguese in my language and in my vocabulary. I'm gonna tell you what I did, man. I was on the beach. And I remember meeting a woman on the beach when I was in Brazil, and I started talking to her in Portuguese, and she was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm asking her what she like, Você gusta de cinema? Você gusta de música? Você gusta? I'm asking her questions and stuff, right, in Portuguese on the beach. And she says, you American, right? I said, yeah. I said, she asked me, where did you learn that? I said, I learned it on my own. She said, you know what? You need to keep going because you pretty good. You pretty good. And she said to me, she also said, you know what? That's very impressive because, a lot of Americans come here and they come to our country and they don't even try to learn the language. And that would take you very far if you try to learn a language. And this was my second trip to Brazil. And after my second trip, I was like, oh my God, I got to learn Portuguese. That's what I said to myself. I got to learn Portuguese. This was after my second trip to Brazil. So the lead attorney, he discredits or he does not associate with passport bros because he thinks that we are not as serious as we should be. He thinks that most passport bros are just basically hedonistic, short-term, low-level thinking, low vibrational individuals, which is very, very far from the truth. But he is correct in saying that if you are traveling to a country where English is not the main language, the dominant language, you need to learn the language of that country. And that gives you entree into everything in that country. Good to see you, Pablo Frescobar. Good to see you, my brother. Glad you're in the house. You need to learn the language. Pablo Frescobar is in South America. You need to learn the language. So the lead attorney is absolutely right. If you're serious about this life, if you're serious about this lifestyle, and you are going to go to a country where English is not the dominant language, and you're going to do that consistently, and you're going to do that for years and years and years. And in fact, you're going to settle into that. You're going to settle in that country. You're going to retire in that country. You need to learn the language. If I were to make any part of French-speaking Africa my retirement destination, you best believe I'm going to be fluent in French. And I know a lot is happening right now in West Africa in terms of the coup in Niger and all that kind of stuff. And Africans are really pushing back on the French colonial influence there, or what have you. But there's some things that are going to stick. French is their language. You want to be successful in West Africa and West Africa, speak French. You want to be successful in those parts of Central America and South America where Spanish is the language and it's not going to change anytime, learn Spanish. Dennis Sperling spent years and years in the Dominican Republic. Dennis Sperling is fluent in Spanish. So the lead attorney is right. Learn a language. Learn a language. I just left Nairobi, Kenya. Nairobi. Two dominant languages in Nairobi. Swahili in English. Swahili in English. I want to learn Swahili. I like Kenya. I like Nairobi. I had experience in Nairobi. I had experience in Kenya that has topped my travels thus far. I like Kenya. If I decide to make Kenya, but Nairobi in particular, my home base in the future, yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna learn me some Swahili. I already got it. English. English is there, but I'm gonna learn me some Swahili. Need to learn. Y'all got you get the picture. So the lead attorney has a very limited conception of passport bros based on stereotypes, but he is right in saying that if you're going to do this stuff, you need to be serious. But as I've said, I embrace the passport movement with all of its warts, with all of its so-called flaws, all of its limitations. When people place negative labels on us, I don't try to defend us. I know who we are. I'm not trying to disassociate myself from anything. I don't care why men travel. And if it's not clear by now, I don't care why men travel. The only thing I care about is that when you travel, you are ethical, you treat people right, you abide by the laws and the customs in whatever country that you're in. That's all that matters. Those countries have customs, those countries have laws, they have prohibitions, they have restrictions. As long as you abide, that is the only thing. That is the only thing that matters. I don't care why you're there. I don't care why you go to Brazil. I don't care why you go to Rio. I don't care why you go to Medellin. I don't care why you go to Cartagena. I don't care why you go to I don't care why you go to the Dominican Republic. I don't care. Short term, long term, I don't care. Hedonism, marriage, I don't care. Lust, retirement, I don't care. And I'm not disassociating myself. I am a passport bro. I am an unapologetic passport bro. King Sigma coined the term. I embrace the term that King Sigma coined. And I'm going to ride with this term. And I put everything on the line for this because this is the final solution for Black American men. This is the final solution. For Black men to be global, for Black men to be international, for Black men to not be restricted by their zip codes, Black men not to be restricted by the state that they were born into, Black men not to be restricted by the region that they were born into, Black men not to be restricted by the country that they were born into. This is the final solution. The final solution. It's the final solution. And it's not, this solution is not going anywhere. And I'm telling you, there are people who are shaking in their boots because of this. They're shaking in their boots because this is an instance of Black American men's agency. This is agency. In other words, we are not asking anybody for any permission to live our lives any way that we want to live. We are asking we are forcing people in this society to wrestle with very, very difficult questions. You see this question right here? You see this question right here in this book? In this book right here, Don't Blame It on Rio, are Black women necessary? And it's really referring to Black American women. Are Black American women necessary for a Black American man? This was published in 2008. Do you know how threatening this question is? Do you know how threatening this question is to the Black American gynocracy? Do you know how threatening this question is? Do you understand that this question right now puts a target on a Black man's back? Any Black man who raises this question, it puts a target on your back when you do it publicly? And then when you extend it and you just rephrase it and say, are Western women necessary or are American women necessary? Oh my God, that just only amplifies things. That puts 20 targets on your back. Corey Green, thank you for that support, man. Good to see you, man. He says the best victory is to never play. We're international. That's it. Don't play the game, brother. Don't play the game. Don't play. That's the best. You're absolutely right. The best victory is to not play the game. That's it. You see. And what's beautiful about this revolution, I'm gonna bring this stream to a close because I've been here going on 3 hours. You know, I'm tempted. I'm tempted to do one of these Obsidian Mumia Ali 6-hour live streams, but I'm not gonna do that. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm tempted to do one of these Mumia Obsidian Ali like 6-hour live streams, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, old man. Shout out to old man. Where's Obsidian, man? Shout out to old man. Old man been doing these 6 and 7 hour live streams. Shout out to him, man. Man, boy, look at here, look at here, look at here. You know, I'll bring some of you guys up and just go on for the next 3 hours. You know what I mean? Just talking about this stuff, man. But I don't think I'm gonna do this, man. I don't. No, man. No, I'm not gonna do it, man. Man, Jamal around the world. What's going on, brother? Man, good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. Glad you're in the house, man. Glad to see you in the house. Glad to see you in the house. Salute to you. Good salute to you. Salute to you, man. And BJ the lawyer say I want to learn German. Hey, man. Hey. BJ the lawyer, man. Go ahead and do it. Do the doggone thing. BJ the lawyer, man. Go ahead and do it, man. I done heard some stories about Germany. Man, I done heard some stories about Germany and black men. I done heard some stories, my brother. Ooh, I done heard some stories. I done heard some stories. Salute to Timothy Harden, man. Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. 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 My man Willie say the passports is purely a grassroots movement, rather. It needs no investment, no sponsorship, no cosign from celebrity. It is organic. You are absolutely right, my brother. It is, and that's what makes it so dangerous. My man Willie, that's what makes it so dangerous. It is purely grassroots. It needs no investment, no sponsorship. It is a pure ideology, no cosign. It is organic. It is a pure ideology. This is the purest form of ideology that you can ever encounter. This is ideology in its purest form. That's why we call it travel ideology. Travel ideology. and that's what makes it so threatening, and that's what makes it so dangerous to so many interests that are out there. And that's why Elite Attorney, bless his heart. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. I was watching the lead attorney's chat, and I saw guys commenting. There was some passport bros in the chat. There were passport bros in the chat, and there were passport bros in the chat when the lead attorney was talking. The passport bros in the chat were like, "You are losing female subscribers." He said, "Lead, you better be careful, man. Either you're about to lose female subscribers or you are losing female subscribers. You are losing the subscribers." Okay? He said, you're about to lose these women, Lead, if you go too far with these stories. If you go too far with these stories. And the passport bros in the chat were like, "Tell the stories, Lead. Tell the stories, Lead. Tell the stories, Lead." I was in the chat. It was like, "Passport bros for the win. Passport gang, we up. Passport bros for life." That's all I saw. Passport bros for life. Passport gang, we up. Passport bros forever. Passport bros this, There was nothing but brothers in the chat just throwing up. They were just throwing up passport bros left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. And of course, you had a bunch of haters in the chat. You had a bunch of haters in the chat when he did his live stream. A bunch of haters in the chat, calling Passport Bros losers and dusties, crusty and musty and blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Pablo Frescobar, he up in the house, man. Hey, Pablo, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Pablo crazy, man. Hey. Let me tell you something, man. I'm tempted, man. Man, you telling me, man. Pablo, you don't understand, man. Man, y'all get the likes up in here, man. We got 92 people in the chat. We got 92 people in the chat. I'm tempted. I'll bring you up here, man. Bring up Passport OG. If Passport OG is still up in the house, man, you know what I mean? Man, shoot. Man, you did that, man. We do a passport. We do a passport marathon up in here, man. And again, I have to say this stream, this is not a lead attorney roast. I'm not roasting the lead attorney. I respect the lead attorney, but I saw something in that stream, and I've been watching how he has been cautiously talking about Passport Bros in relationship to his own experience as a Black man, a professional Black man who has lived outside of the United States and who knows what it's like to be a Black man, to be received by another culture, non-Americans, and to have a positive experience. The lead attorney literally said that there are things that happened to him, experiences that he had when he was in Mexico that he could not talk about on YouTube. And he also said that he had experiences that he could not communicate with other men who had never traveled before. That's the other thing. So the lead attorney says, listen, I had this experience living in a foreign country. I had these experiences rather. And I came back to the United States and I tried to share these experiences or communicate these experiences with other men who did not have those experiences. And it was almost like speaking a different language to these men. They did not understand. They did not understand. Okay? They didn't understand. They didn't understand. Passport say he's out. I got you, man. I got you. I understand. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I got the Black man's option in the house too. We got the Black man's option in the house too. You know what I mean? I don't want to put anybody on the spot. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. The passport, the Black man's option. But I'm going to say this, guys. I'm not going to do a marathon. Okay, I'm not going to do a marathon. But I want to end with this. I was in Uganda. I'm going to end with this, guys. I was in Uganda. And let me say this to you. And I said this in my last stream, man. O'Shea Duke Jackson is a generous dude. O'Shea is a generous dude. O'Shea Duke Jackson has a big heart. I was there in Uganda spend lots of time with O'Shea. O'Shea just extended so much hospitality towards me, man. And he's extended hospitality to lots of brothers, a lot of traveling brothers, a lot of, including passport men. Okay. So I'm in Kampala, Uganda, man, and I'm sitting in an apartment. And let me just back up. Let me just back up. So um, I was staying in this place, and this is my second day in Uganda, and I was out and about. I hadn't seen O'Shea. It was my second day in Uganda. I had only communicated with O'Shea on the telephone, WhatsApp, and what have you. Um, and O'Shea and I had communicated the second day that I was there, and O'Shea said that he was going to stop by the apartment where I was living, and he was someone who helped make arrangements for that situation. And so O'Shea said, I'm talking to O'Shea on Thursday. He said, man, I'm going to stop by in the evening time and we're going to talk and blah, 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 blah. And it's maybe, 7 o'clock in the evening, and I'm back at the place where I'm staying and, chilling out, having a little drink. And O'Shea comes by. Okay? O'Shea comes by to the apartment where I'm staying. And, my first time really meeting O'Shea in the flesh and all that kind of stuff. And, everything is cool. And man, we just start chopping it up and just talking about, Kampala and East Africa, and talking about YouTube, and talking about, his work and my work, and, talking about what I wanted to do while I was in Uganda, blah, 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 blah. So man, me and O'Shea, we just in this deep, intense conversation. We real loud. Our voices are just, bouncing off the walls, against the walls. Me and O'Shea just talking, man, right? And as me and O'Shea are talking, I hear a at my door, right? There's a knock. We're in the living room, and you got to understand, guys, we're in Uganda, right? We're in Uganda, and I'm living in a building that is highly secure. You go to Africa, man. If you're living in a compound, you're living in an apartment, and you're in Africa, regardless of where you're living, man, those places tend to be real. They're like fortresses. They're real secure because, man, you're in a developing country, man. Anything can happen when you're in Africa, bro. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Safety is always an issue when you're traveling in a developing country, right? So, in the apartment where I'm staying, the apartment had steel doors. It had a steel door covering everything. I mean, there was steel in the windows and all that kind of stuff. And then you had just a regular door. I mean, steel doors, right? So me and O'Shea are talking, and these guys, what happened is these two American guys, man, they're just knocking on the door, right? So I go to the door and open the door, and there's these two dudes, right? And it's like, hey, man, what's going on? What's going on, man? They said, man, we heard y'all talking, man. We heard y'all outside, man, and we heard, man, we said, man, these some American dudes in that apartment, and we're from America, blah 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 blah. We had to come on down here, right? And so what happens, guys, is that I encountered two American guys, two ex-military guys. Me and O'Shea, these guys are ex-military. And so I invite the two ex-military guys into the living room in the apartment, and we just start to talk, and come to find out one of the guys who's ex-military is there because this is his wedding weekend. He's getting ready to marry a woman from Uganda. This is literally his wedding weekend, and the other guy with him is a part of his groomsmen. He's one of his groomsmen. Okay. And so the guy who's getting married is from Texas. The other guy, if I recall it right, the other guy is like from Ohio or whatever. And so we're sitting in the living room, man, and we're just, man, going back and forth, back and forth. And we are talking about Black men, and we're talking about travel. And as I'm sitting there, I'm looking at these guys, and these guys are telling me stories. These guys are ex-military, ex-Air Force, and all that kind of stuff. And they're talking about their stories as passport bros. These guys don't call themselves passport bros. They know about the passport bro movement. But the conversation that we're having together is a passport bro conversation. We're talking about a living room. There's 4 Black men who travel the world talking about what it means to be a Black man in cultures outside of the United States. And we're talking about our interactions with women and the cultures and the like. And brother, let me tell you something, brothers. Let me tell you something, brothers. Brothers, I had a conversation. I took pictures with these guys. I recorded. I had a camcorder with me. I recorded some of our interactions together. And I'm going to tell you, brothers, I had a conversation with these men that I could never, ever, ever, ever share with you. I had a conversation with these 2 men, along with O'Shea, but I'm going to leave O'Shea out for the second. But I had a conversation with these men, these Black men who were ex-military, about travel that I could never, ever share with you. I could never share with you on social media. I can't share with you on YouTube. I would not put it on Patreon. I wouldn't put it anywhere. You understand what I'm saying? I had a conversation. We talked for damn near 3 hours about travel and travel experiences. And we talked about America and our perceptions of America in the situation right now. Our conversation was of such, brothers, that I'm going to go to my grave with what I heard and what I know. And if I do, I'm just saying this to qualify it, if I do talk about what that conversation entailed to any other Black man or to Black men, the contents of the conversation would be one-on-one. It would be one-on-one. There would be no cameras around. It would not be on telephone. There would be no technology. It would be one-on-one. That's how deep it was. That's how deep it was. TLA, the lead attorney, he said, and I can confirm what he said, that a man who has never traveled, a Black man who has never traveled in particular, when he learns of the experience of a man who has traveled, the deep experiences of a man who has traveled, what the man says to that Black man is always, to the Black man who has never traveled, unfathomable and unbelievable. You can't believe it. It is difficult to believe. If you've never experienced it, it is difficult to believe. And TLA chose not to, well, I'm put like this, TLA censored himself. TLA knows the power of the passport revolution. The lead attorney, he knows it. The lead attorney knows how powerful this revolution is. He knows how powerful it is. He knows it. He's not going to say it in public, but he knows how powerful it is. He's in Atlanta, Georgia. He's in Atlanta, Georgia. People see him in public. People see him in public. Professionals see him in public in Atlanta, Georgia. He is in a hub. He is in a big spot, a big city. He knows it. He cannot publicly associate with the passport revolution because it's almost like telling the world, you know, I've got this government information. It's almost like having top secret government information. And I really can't let people know that I have this top secret information. And I really can't risk my future, even though I'm an independent man, even though I'm a retired man. I really can't risk what's going to happen going forward if I really let people know that I have this information. It's kind of like, you know, the ex-president having all of these classified and unclassified government documents in his home in Mar-a-Lago. You've got these classified and unclassified documents in your plush home in Florida. There are people who are threatened by that. There are interests who are threatened by that. And those interests and those people will do everything to keep you from exposing or making those classified documents available to the world. I'm going to leave you with that, my brothers. Thank you for listening, my guys. We've done a full 3 hours tonight. I wanted to be clear that I am a full-blown passport bro. Full-blown. I don't qualify anything. Thank you, Tim Harden. We're becoming global citizens. I don't bite my tongue. I approach this as a venture capitalist. I know that there is a long-term positive effect out of all of this, guys. Thank you guys for listening. I look forward to seeing you the next time, guys. Continue to support the channel, share, like, and subscribe. This has been another Black Men's Independence, Black Men's Agency, Black Men's Empowerment, Black Men's Happiness broadcast. The passport revolution is here, and my guys, it is here to stay. Peace and blessings to you. Enjoy what's left of the weekend. Be safe and take care. I'm out of here. TMP, the Mad Professor.